There was once a time you'd be lucky to get a table at this iconic restaurant, an establishment that after 70 proud years is on the brink. The lunchtime crowd is no more, and according to owner David, it's been replaced by crime in the area.
We've been forgotten by the people in power, the decision makers.
It's the little slice of Italy with a big problemo.
We need public servants back in the city.
They're important to you.
They're important to us.
Pellegrini's has been a Melbourne institution since the 50s, loved by locals and tourists the world over.
Now, Marla, you're a tourist from the UK. What did you think?
Loved it. Loved the coffee, loved the vibe. Felt really nice, yeah.
So, what does Pellegrini's mean to Melbourne?
Well, I think tradition, basically. The fact that some things from the past still remain as they were, and people come back for a trip down memory lane, which is brilliant for us.
It never changes here.
No, we don't like change.
But post-COVID, change is here. Foot traffic, the lifeblood of a CBD, is down. And for David Malaspina, owner of Pellegrini's, that's a real jab in the financials.
We are probably tracking 15 to 20% less during lunches, especially lunches.
There's the Victorian Parliament, there's Pellegrini's. The seat of power, not enough bums on seats.
And there's more trouble at the top end of town. Far too often, David says, the spaghetti bolognese comes with a sickening sideshow.
There's an Italian word, basta. It means stop, or loosely translated, enough already. And that's a sentiment echoed by traders around here. Enough antisocial behaviour, enough crime, and enough of workers working from home, in particular public servants. Enough, they say, is enough.
Across the street, newsagent Carmel says she's never seen the city so quiet.
How long have you been here for?
40 years plus.
And in the past 3 or 4 or 5 years?
Disaster.
Oh, really? That bad?
Yeah.
In the shadows of Parliament House, Burke Street a shadow too of its former self, a legacy of the world's longest COVID lockdowns.
The Premier, Jacinta Allen, is a big fan of working from home for public servants, and she says she's not going to force them to come back into work. What do you think of that?
Well, I would say, Martin, if that's the case, we won't be here that much longer.
Oh.
I think we'll be selling out or closing down. It's that serious.
Just a few doors down, Burke Street can be quite the battleground. Carmel sometimes barricading herself and staff inside.
I keep the door locked because I have had them push the door, try and knock at the door, come around the side lane.
David Malaspina says it's time to tell it like it is. He's angry with the Victorian government, which he claims is not supporting CBD business and is soft on crime. Melbourne City Council too, he says, has let traders down with empty promises. Mayor Nick Rees pledging 30 city safety officers.
How many city safety officers are there at the moment?
There are currently none.
The Lord Mayor says the safety officers will come, but in the meantime, the city has hired private security to keep people safe.
It's completely unacceptable to me that there's parts of the city where people don't feel safe.
So this is video footage of a knife situation we had literally at the front of the shop.
Crime and antisocial behaviour are far too close to home for David Malaspina. In 2018, his father, Sisto, was murdered in a terror attack in Burke Street.
Melbourne is mourning Sisto Malaspina tonight.
Sisto was buying chocolates to celebrate the birth of his grandchild.
He made so many people happy. I just felt I had to come today to say thank you and goodbye.
Today outside Pellegrini's, Sisto's image beams at customers from a tabletop. But the barista's first job this morning was to remove graffiti.
So Sisto got graffiti?
He got graffiti, yes.
I don't believe it.
This vision was filmed by David outside the Salvation Army headquarters in Burke Street, directly opposite his restaurant.
They're not your customers?
No, absolutely, categorically not.
Salvation Army Major Brendan Nottle. He says the Army is the solution, not the problem.
We cannot, under any circumstances, reject this group of people and say you are not welcome in certain parts of the city. Most of these people, like 99% of these people, don't misbehave. They are good people that have fallen on hard times. And they don't need our judgment, they need our support.
Major Noddle says there's a bigger issue here.
A significant increase in complex mental health issues, and we would say there's a gap in service provision.
It's a complex argument, but all sides agree there's a common denominator: lack of Victorian government funding for crime and a lack of will to bring life back to business.
I obviously have a different view to the Premier and the Prime Minister on this. I think people should be turning up to work. I think it's good for the city, the state, the country.
We know that public servants aren't the only employees working from home. Nonetheless, I invited the Victorian Premier, Jacinta Allen, to join me at Pellegrini's for lunch or a coffee. On the table, antisocial behaviour in the city and traders' woes. She was unavailable.
Melbourne is such a wonderful, diverse city. That's why we have so many visitors come and see us. But we also need a lot of support because we need the numbers of people to make it viable.
Yep, they need that support, and it is sad to see the streets so empty.